So we're trying something a little different today. I'm gonna do a Drawcast. This is where I ramble about something as you watch me draw. Topic of today's vid is Cartoon Network nostalgia, specifically how it's represented on my channel. Of course, I said many times Cartoon Network was a huge part of my childhood and was instrumental in me pursuing a career in animation, but it's important to point out the era I'm from. I'm a child of the 90s/2000s, so the era I grew up with was late checkerboard/powerhouse and city. I done several videos on those eras. Probably the ones I'm most proud of is the powerhouse timeline and the city era in 2004 vids. I just think they came out so well, plus I had fun making them. So not too long ago, someone asked me if I would do vids on later eras like Yes, Nudes, and the Fall. The thing is, I want to do retrospectives on things I'm passionate about. I have no nostalgic connection or passion for those eras. I think I was in middle school when the Yes and Fall eras rolled around, and early high school when the Nudes came out. I was slowly losing interest in CN at the time, not because I thought it was too grown up for cartoons, but more because I wasn't impressed. I hated that Fall song, I didn't like the Nudes. Stuff like Total Drama and Ben 10 shows, which I don't hate, they just weren't my thing. Class of 3000 was probably the only new show I liked, and I did get into Chowder and Flapjack later on. Even before the whole CN Real nonsense, they were trying to push live action shows with Reanimated and Out of Jimmy's Head, two of the most wretched things I've ever seen. Probably the reason this channel got started was because of my nostalgia for the eras I grew up with. I was in high school and rediscovering all the old promos, commercials, interstitials on YouTube by a user named 90s Cartoon Network who's not really around anymore. He was uploading all of these and I was just in awe of seeing all these things I haven't seen since I was a little kid. I will give CN credit, they do show respect to the classic era time to time. Checkered Past is great and I'm glad it's still growing strong. Even stuff like the Jellystone crossover, which was okay, could have been better. Now they're just hell-bent on rebooting past shows, even Adventure Time and Regular Show, which aren't even that old. I don't think it's quite unreasonable to prefer the era you grew up with over another. And honestly, I don't want to come across as one of those people like, Cartoon Network sucks now, the era I grew up with was the best. No, I don't want to be that at all. In fact, the video of my top 5 favorite modern CN shows has been on the list for quite a while. I'm glad to be one of those YouTube channels that documents the history of classic Cartoon Network. Of course, there's been some others. The One Nerd has a 4-part retrospective on the history of Cartoon Network, and there's a new channel called Checkered Childhood who just put out an episode about the Moxie Show. So what do you think? Would you like to see more of these? Tell me in the comments. Until next time, I'm 47 Cartoon Guy and I gotta fly.